Ladies, this is the #1 way to not be unalived by your boyfriend or your husband.
This is one way to avoid getting unalived by a man, especially the man you're in a relationship with. This is one way you can avoid it, is by breaking up on the phone. You know, when you want to break up with a man or you are telling him no, and especially these men, they can't take no for an answer, and you're in a relationship with them and they know that he wants to leave, so you're coming to them in person to say no, there's a problem, right? Most of them get violence. Most of them want to, do things and just threatening you, and just they act like they're being protective or they're being obsessed, and they'll just try to harm you. Most of the time, instead of you going through all those stress and being like that, just break up over the phone. A lady shared that story of how she tried to break up with her boyfriend, came to the house to break up with the boyfriend. She went to public to break. Let me roll the clip for you all to watch the end, and I'll be back to my thoughts at the end of the video. But then, have you done breakup in public or in private before? How did it turn out? Let us know down in the comment section while we watch these videos together.
Ladies, this is the #1 way to not be unalived by your boyfriend or your husband.
This is one of the biggest lessons that I have had to learn as a woman dating in my adulthood. He goes on to say that when you get to the point where you are about to end the relationship, do it over the phone. And if you have to do it in person, do it in public. Do not do it in private. And after my last dating experience, I will never again end things with a man in person, in private. It is culturally instilled in us from a young age that the right thing to do is to end a relationship face to face. But honestly, that is just not worth risking your life, especially if there is any doubt in your mind that this man has any sort of violent tendencies or is not all the way. In my last relationship, when things were starting to fall apart and we were starting to have conversations around potentially no longer continuing the relationship, I started to realize that he was not reacting to these conversations in the way that typical adults were. It was obvious to me that he was not all the way happy either, but whenever we would get to the point in an argument where I was like, yeah, I'm actually going to end the relationship, things would escalate to a level that I just could not comprehend. And while it was obvious that this relationship was not going to end in a non-dramatic fashion, it never occurred to me that that could actually be very dangerous for me. The night that I had finally had enough and decided to end it, we had gotten into a fight at dinner. I waited until we got home from dinner to end the relationship. I didn't want to cause a scene in public, and I felt like, well, this is a private conversation. It should take place in a private setting. Yeah. So as we were having this breakup fight and I tell him that I am done, I can see that it's not registering in his brain that I'm actually being serious until I start packing up my belongings. So I grab all my belongings, I put them in a bag, I put on my backpack, and I go to walk out. And at this point, I can see it click in his eyes that he realizes I am serious and that this relationship is over. The moment this happens, he races to the door, stands in the door frame, and blocks me from leaving the apartment. At the time, I had never experienced anything like this, and I did not realize how serious this was. I thought he was just being dramatic. But as he is refusing to let me leave, my adrenaline is starting to rush and I am getting increasingly panicked. I finally get past him and I think, oh, thank God, I'm out the door, I'm fine, I'm safe. And right when I think that, I get snatched up like this. I had a backpack on and he grabs the handle of the backpack and yanks me back. So safety tip for women, whenever you're wearing a backpack, never wear both straps of the backpack. From that day forward, I always only carry a backpack with one strap. In the event that another man ever tries to grab me, I can drop the backpack off my shoulder and run. So at this point, I am panicking. We are standing in the hallway. He is holding my backpack. The straps are pressed up against my shoulders. I cannot get away. I cannot move. My only thought is start screaming. So I start yelling in the hopes that causing enough commotion will get him to drop the backpack and leave me alone. And it does. But there is another door at the end of the hallway, which he then runs to and blocks as well. At this point, I'm realizing there's 2 more doors, there's a staircase, and there's a parking garage I have to get to and out of in order to get out of here. And I realize it is in my best interest to now de-escalate the situation because I am scared for my safety. And I know that even if I get out of here tonight, like this breakup is not going to end tonight. This is going to continue and this is going to be something that's drawn on and very dramatic that I just don't want to deal with. So I choose to de-escalate the situation, tell him never mind, and I will stay and go back into the apartment with him. So at this point, I just tell him, look, I am past my limit with you. I will give you a pass tonight, but if this happens again, the thing that happened to cause the initial fight, I'm done, I'm gone. So he is acting amazing for the next couple days. If you guys have ever dealt with a master manipulator, I now understand how y'all end up in these relationships, because for the life of me, prior to him, I could not understand how people got into situations like this. So I stay in the relationship for 4 more days because, again, I didn't understand at the time how serious that behavior was. A large part of me still just thought, oh, he's being dramatic. But sure enough, the original offense that caused that big fight in the first place happens again. But this time I was like, okay, I'm going to be smart about how I go about this breakup. Instead of being impassioned and acting on my impulses in the moment, I waited for him to leave and go to work. While he was at work, I packed up all of my things, moved my car out of his garage, and moved it onto the street. I knew if I broke up with him over the phone, he was going to show up at my apartment, and that was something that I wanted to avoid. So I felt like it was better to do it in person, in public. I parked my car on a very crowded street, both with pedestrian foot traffic and car traffic. I knew it was going to be rush hour when he got home, so I knew there would be a ton of cars sitting on the road next to us, and I parked right in front of his building security that I knew could watch the whole interaction go down. Sure enough, he gets home from work, parks behind my car on the busy street, but this is where I went wrong because he was taking too long to get out of his car. I got impatient, got out of mine, and got into his. Y'all, don't do that. But I did leave the passenger door open. So I confront him in the car about his behavior, and I let him know I'm done for real, like this relationship is over. I then go to get out of the car, and at this point, he reaches out and grabs my arm. I am telling him to let go of my arm, and it is becoming apparent to me that he is not going to let go of my arm, and he has no plans of letting me out of this car. I'm wearing a jacket, so my first thought is, okay, take off the jacket because then maybe he'll lose the grip on my arm and he'll just be holding the jacket. So as I'm trying to take off my jacket, he realizes what I'm doing. He lets go of my arm. I sprint out of his car, jump into the driver's side seat of my car, but he jumps out of the car as well, and he follows me. When I get into my car, he steps in between the door frame and the door so that I can't close it, and is holding the door open with both arms wide. At this point, I am still talking calm to him. I'm talking to him exactly like I am talking to you guys now, but my adrenaline is starting to spike. As he is pleading for me not to leave, it is becoming apparent to me that he has no plans of moving. Again, y'all, this is rush hour on a busy street. There are people walking by. There are cars not only driving by, but stopped next to us watching what is going on. I tell him, you need to step away from my car or I am going to run you over. He says, run me over, I'm not moving. So I say, okay, and I step on the gas. I'm thinking, like any logical person, he is going to back away from the car when he realizes that I am serious. But no, he is not a logical person. He jumps into the car onto my lap. He grabs the steering wheel with one hand, holds the door open with the other hand, and is kicking my foot out of the way so he can get to the brake. Now I start screaming. I am scared. I am panicking. I do not know what to do to get this grown man off of my lap so that I can get away and go home. Mind you, I deliberately picked this spot because I know that he hates causing scenes in public. And not only was this in public, but it was in front of people that he knows, his building security. But as I'm getting increasingly panicked, I feel like it's in my best interest to cause a scene. So I start screaming. Everyone is staring. People are yelling out their cars. Oh my God, are you okay? He yells back, she's fine. I'm her boyfriend. She's breaking up with me. At this point, this girl who is driving by rolls down her window and starts recording. I tell him, hey, we're being recorded. I really don't want to be on the internet. Please get off of me so I can go home. His response is to scream at her, record us all you want. She threatens to call the cops. I then tell him, if you don't get off my lap, I am also going to call the cops. Cars are flying by. My car door is wide open. I'm thinking like they're going to hit my car door. My car is going to break. I am like jerking my car back and forth, just trying to figure out how to get him off of my lap and make him lose his balance so he will get out of my car. I tell him I'm going to call the cops. He tells me to call the cops. So I call the cops. I call 911. I'm on the phone with a 911 operator. I give her his full name, his description, and the whole time I'm on the phone with 911, me and him are screaming at each other back and forth, and he still will not get out of the car. The operator tells him if he does not get out of the car, she is going to send the police. At this exact moment, a woman on the street sees us and comes over and intervenes. I don't know who this woman was or where she came from, but God himself sent her down because she was twice his size and looked like she lived in the gym, okay? She came up to my car and was like, do we have a problem here? At this point, he gets off of my lap, steps away from me, still is holding the door open. But as this woman is approaching and yelling at him, and as the 911 operator is telling him that she's about to send the police, he steps away just far enough from the car. The woman from the street turns to me and she just says, go. So I slam my door, I hit the gas, and all the cars stop driving to let me out, and I zoom on the freeway, and I zoom to my apartment. He then calls me 39 times. I pack up all my belongings, and I go stay at home with my parents for a week. I had to order extra security cameras to put around my apartment and extra locks to put on my doors. After this, I had to block his number from all of my phones, all of my social media platforms, including email and LinkedIn, and his work number that he was using the company phone to call me from. I also caught him showing up to events that he knew I was going to be at. And all I can think is, thank God I decided to do this in public. That was so traumatizing. And all I could think was, if this is how he acted in public, I don't even want to imagine what he would have acted like if I would have went through with it in private.
Yeah.
And mind you, from the day I met this man to the day I blocked him was no more than 4 months. So if you have been deeply involved with someone, especially if it's been for a long period of time, and there is any doubt in your mind that they are capable of violent tendencies, end it over the phone. End it over the phone. And if you have to end it in person because you feel like you need that, not just because you're trying to be a good person, because being a good person is not worth it, make sure you are in a public, well-lit area that you can easily escape from, because it is simply not worth the risk.
I really don't know why these men cannot take no for an answer. The ones that you've not even dated, when they are coming to tell you, oh, I like you, give me your number, and you're like, no, I don't want to give you my number. There's a problem. They always want to be very aggressive. They always want to hold your hand and try to forcefully get what they want from you. The ones that you've not even dated, though. Then the ones that you're not in a relationship, they know you very well. They know what you can do. They know your capability. They know where you can be. They know everything about you, because even while you're dating, the first very months, both of you are doing love, and you spill out almost everything for the person, and they will know everything, right? Of course they should. They will know your place. They will know your family. They will know everything. And now you're done with the relationship. Maybe they're bringing out anything that make you done with any relationship, right? You want to break up. Most of them don't take no for an answer. The ones that don't take, especially the ones that don't take no, when they ask for your number, or when they ask to be your boyfriend or something and you say no, and they just want to unalive you or just want to do something back to you. These are the same ones that will be very violent when you tell them no if you want to break up, or when you want to break up with them. So it's better to be on the safer side, because you might not even know which is which. You might not even know which one is your own. So to be on the safer side, when you know you are done, just leave quietly. Leave quietly. Leave quietly. And when you've ghosted for a long time, you've not been picking my call. I'm done, no. I'm not doing it again, because the kind of stories I'm seeing, you see, young boys, tell them no, you can't give them, you can't be their boyfriend, they will just knife. Choo. Why? Just because you can't take no for an answer. You see a man harassing a girl outside and be like, I'm talking to you and I just want to have your number. And she's like, no. They don't take no. They don't understand the word no. They don't want a woman to tell them no. They don't want a woman to reject them. Most of them can't handle rejection. So it's better for you to do it whereby when they do something very harmful, or when they want to do something very harmful to you, everybody's seeing it and people can rescue you. But if you do it when you're in a closed door, once you tell them, they'll say, hey, you're not interested, Abby. They start beating you. You're alone, no? Because at the end of the day, when you come out, people ask you, and why they will blame you as a victim. That is how they used to blame women for everything. So it's better when you want to end a relationship to avoid getting unalived, to avoid getting abused. These men don't take no for an answer. Some of them are very dangerous. Very, very dangerous. So you have to act smart. It's either you leave silently, you move silently, you just ghost, go far away. Especially when you know this person can be very obsessed. There are some partners that can be very, very obsessed with you. Even when you break up with them, they will still be on your matter. They will still be everywhere trying to get you, because they don't want anybody to have you. They don't want you, but they don't want anybody to have you. So it's better for you to just do this thing in private, in public, or you just do it on the phone. That is the best way to avoid getting unalived by these males. Have you gotten any bad reaction, or when you told your ex-boyfriend or ex-partner that you're no longer interested in private? Did it go south? What happened? Let us know down in the comment section. What is your take on today's video? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section respectfully as always. And thank you all so much for tuning in today's video. Don't forget to like and share and subscribe and turn on the post notification bell to get notified as soon as I upload another interesting video. And of course, I'll see you in my next one. Bye.